you're by yourself and you perhaps have a team of people around you.
Yeah.
Now, how do you scale, Anshu? People say there is skill, scale, and speed. That's the mantra now. How does Anshu scale?
Yeah, so for us, scale means two things right now, right? Especially as a comedian. One is scaling your market, right? The number of people who know you, the number of people who would come to your shows, the number of people who follow you on social media, all of those things, right? In that, the most important is how many people actually buy a ticket and watch your show.
Right.
And that's largely a function of the quality of material that you do and how discoverable are you, right? The quality of material is largely in my control because I can just keep getting better at the craft. And I know that the social media world that we live in will amplify it if they like it. Right? So that's largely in my control, so to say. So I largely focus on that. I say just keep better, become better at writing jokes. Right? Write smarter jokes, write deeper jokes, like jokes, more relatable ones that anybody from 16 to 60 can hear and say, hey, this is funny. So that's more like my controlled part of it. Then it is then, I think, just a factor of the other scale is what all you can do, which is the beauty of this. And I'll give you, I don't mean to kind of diss the corporate environment because I understand that it works in a process and a system and it will collapse if that system is not there. But today, what happens with me is, and this has happened in the last 5.5 years that I've been doing comedy, is I think of doing something which is other than stand up, and there is nobody to tell me that you are not ready for it, that you need some training for it, that your level doesn't allow you to do this, or your position doesn't. Nobody says that, right? So it is just my filter there is, how badly do I want to do this? And am I serious enough to do it consistently?
Right.
Right. So in my life, for example, stand-up comedy was what I started off with. And then at one point of time, a couple of years back, I was like, hey, this podcasting is something that I want to do.
Very nice.
And I want to be good at it. And there will be a time when I would be consistent and have a podcast which is world famous. Right.
Very nice.
So nobody was there to tell me, hey, you can't do podcasting now. Okay, because you don't understand it. So I bought the equipment. I learned how to use it. I did my own recordings. I edited my own sound. I did everything. And then I, also read articles and took some workshops and stuff. But I did that on my own. I made a lot of mistakes. The podcast, the initial one at least was very bad, but you were listening to what the audience was saying, right? You were getting that feedback. Somebody would say, hey, I liked it, but it was too long. And then you were like, okay, I'm hearing this consistently. Maybe 1 hour podcast don't work, right? And if 1 hour don't work and if I have to make 20 minutes podcast, then more work needs to be done because now you have to, right? You have to think through this. So that happened. Then recently, like just before COVID, I decided that there are stories inside me,
very nice,
which I want to tell to the world, but they are not necessarily funny stories. And I said, the only medium that I can think of is either making a movie or making a web series on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, right? And I said, hey, I'm going to start writing a web series. Now, I didn't know anything about it, right? I didn't know how to write series. I didn't know what screenplays are. I didn't know what software to use. I didn't know any bit about writing a web series. But I've spent, last 19 months reading, thinking, learning from online workshops, whatever I could do, reading books.
Beautiful.
And I'm right now writing a web series. So the canvas is really blank. Tomorrow I might decide, hey, I want to become a singer, although that will never happen. But I'm saying the whole notion that if you really want to do it, if in your head you're like, A, I'm serious, B, I'll be consistent, then it's okay to jump, make mistakes, fail, keep trying, and invest in that time and effort to get better at that craft.
Wonderful.
And that I wish could happen, because we talk a lot about that in corporate life, right? Think out of the box, do something different. But the problem in corporate life is, despite all the right intentions, all the creativity that you think of, that you can possibly have in corporate life, is directed towards a specific outcome. Right? Profit, numbers, sales, whatever it is, right? There's always an outcome attached to the idea of creativity. And that, in my view, stifles creativity a bit. right? Because then you're under pressure to deliver an outcome. Like when I started a podcast, if somebody had tell me by the third quarter of the year, your podcast should be the top 10 in India, it's dead, right? Then I'm being too careful, probably will not do it. There's too much pressure. So yeah, so I think art allows you to do that in some sense.
Beautiful. And would it be appropriate, Anshu, to say you have learned more in the last 10 years than in the previous 30 years?
No, yeah. 100%. I think I've learned more in the last 5.5 years of doing comedy than I did in 18 years of corporate life, surely. And I think I'm also working harder, which is ironic because that's not what I had planned for. But I'm working harder now. I'm more invested in what I'm doing. Much, like it's a 24/7 thing. There's no day offs. I hate holidays because I just want to get back to, doing what I do. And the learnings are immense. I think the stakes are much higher. You're the only one. There's nobody to support you. You don't get a salary at the end. Your worst situation is not a bad annual review. Your worst situations could happen every night when nobody's laughing, and that hurts. So yeah, surely I think the learnings have been much more.
Wonderful.